This is Joe and Cola with DiscountJuicers.com. Today I have another exciting episode for you, and we're going to juice a new and uncommon vegetable that many of you guys may not know about. You might be thinking, John, what are you going to juice? What are you going to juice? Potatoes? These are just potatoes. No, these are not potatoes. Some of you guys might be thinking, John, isn't that a fruit? Isn't that called Nispero or Sapodilla? Brown sugar fruit? No, these are not brown sugar fruits. I wouldn't be juicing brown sugar fruits. I'd be eating them because they are that good. What these are called Yacon, also called earth apple. These are basically like foods of the lost Incas, or Incan foods from South America. And actually I grew these very Yacon tubers, and these can be actually exceedingly and very hard to find. You know, you'll probably never find these at a local grocery store. You might be able to find them at a farmer's market if you live in like a subtropical area, but for the most part you're just not going to find these. So if you want them, you really got to grow them yourself. So these guys are actually in the sunflower family. They're related to the sunflower, and the plants are amazing. They grow tall like a sunflower, and the whole plant can be eaten, including the leaves and the stems that can be cooked and eaten. The leaves are also used in teas, also used for animal fodder. But what I'm after is the most delicious part of the Yacon plant. That's the tuber right here. So these tubers can vary in size and shape. As you can see, I got some long ones here that are kind of skinny, and some more rounder ones that look kind of like an egg. And the biggest one I grew this year so far, I haven't harvested them all yet, is this guy right here. And if we put this guy on the scale here, he weighs out at a whopping 34.7 ounces. So for me, that's a world's record, and I know probably, in the scope of things, this is probably a small one. But I encourage you, if you guys grow the Yacon, to grow one this big. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make Yacon juice. So many of you guys may or may not know that they sell Yacon slices, like Yacon chips. And the reason why they sell the Yacon chips and they taste so good is because these guys are very high in what's called inulin, and which is known as a prebiotic. So actually they say this is good for diabetics because it's actually low in sugar, and they're quite tasty. So normally people slice these and then they'll dehydrate them, or you could eat them fresh actually. Actually, maybe I'll try one right now fresh. While you can't just bite into them and eat the skin and all, I do recommend peeling them. That's why we got a standard vegetable peeler right here. The skin can kind of taste, have a funny taste and may wreck your juice, but it is completely edible. I want just the sweetness of the tuber to come out, so I'm just going to go ahead and peel off this skin. So these are normally, dehydrated into chips. You can also eat them raw. Actually, the name of this guy is Yacon, also known as the earth apple, because they are actually so sweet. Now, they're maybe not as sweet as an apple, and if you fresh harvested them, it's best not to eat them right out of the ground. It's best to maybe, let them chill out and like what I call cure, whether it's in the sun or a cool, dry place. You don't want them in a moist place. They might mold on you. And actually, they're going to actually get sweeter, believe it or not. So let's see, we're almost done peeling this. And now I'm going to go ahead and it's actually quite good. Kind of reminds me, it's definitely sweeter than a Granny Smith apple. Maybe like hints of melon. Really good. So while you can eat this stuff raw, you could also cook it up. I would probably just eat it raw. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to juice it up. And I'll have many different juicers. The juicer that I'm using today is the Omega VRT350 HD. And this is a juicer I like to use for fruits. And I think it'll really work well on this Yacon root here. Another thing they do with the Yacon is actually they juice it up and then they boil it down to take off the extra moisture content. And then they would make what's called Yacon syrup, which is a natural sweetener, which I like a lot more than the agave syrup, which I'm not really a fan. Now, I always encourage you guys to eat your foods in their fresh and most natural, unprocessed state. So instead of buying the Yacon syrup, hey, make your own Yacon juice and drink it. Make your own Yacon syrup if you want to. But, why not just eat the whole foods as found in nature? Today, I'm actually going to be juicing it up because sometimes, even though it is quite sweet, if we take away the fiber and juice it, it's going to make it that much sweeter. So we're going to go ahead and make a video for the first time juicing some Yacon for you guys. So I guess the next step is I'm going to go ahead and peel some of this Yacon. I'll weigh out about a pound's worth, and I'm going to juice 1 pound to see how much Yacon juice it's going to yield. Alright, one of the things I've noticed so far after peeling the Yacon is right after you peel it, man, it actually starts to oxidize or kind of change colors. That's like when you cut open an apple, it starts to turn brown. Well, this is oxidizing as soon as you take off the skin. So, you know, I'd only recommend taking off the skin right before you're going to use it. So you got to cut this up into some pieces, and I think after that, I think I might have the 1 pound of Yacon that I'm looking to juice. Alright, so now we got all the Yacon peeled and put that on there. Looks like we got 16 ounces exactly. Now the next step is to juice. So this stuff, basically you just need to cut into pieces that'll fit in the machine. We're going to go ahead and turn the Omega VRT350 HD juicer on. Now I like the Omega VRT350 HD juicer because it's a slow running, low RPM juicer. This would definitely not be good to put in a high speed machine. It's not going to get the most yield, and it's going to aerate the juice. So I like this because it runs at a low speed. It's virtually self-cleaning the screen, which is going to mean you're going to get a higher yield. Plus it has a little pulp flap that's going to keep the pulp in the juice longer so that you get a higher yield. So I'm really curious to see how well the Omega Vert will juice this Yacon that I grew in my very garden. So let's go ahead and cut this into some pieces, and we're going to go ahead and put that in the machine. This flesh almost has like a nice translucent color in there. As you can see, we're getting a clear juice out here. Almost looks like water coming out. Over here, none of the pulp is coming out. Oh, the pulp started to come out already. Let's go ahead and put another piece in there. One of the features I like about the Omega Vert juicer is it literally is almost self-feeding. I just stuck the Yacon in there, and it's slowly just dropping itself in little by little. You do not want to use a pusher when using the Omega Vert because then you're probably feeding too quickly. This has like a nice, like, kind of like, I don't know, lime juice color to it, but I'm sure it's going to taste a heck of a lot better. The Omega Vert's doing an amazing job separating out all the fiber and just giving me the liquid of the Yacon. Looks like this is doing really excellent. Let's take a look at some of the pulp here. This pulp is actually fairly dry. It can be a little bit drier, but this is doing an extremely good job. Let's go ahead and actually try to eat some of this pulp. It's mildly sweet, kind of crunchy, still kind of good. Well, all we got is 2 last pieces to drop in the juicer. There's one, and here's that last piece there. So that's all our Yacon. Now, once you're done juicing in the Omega Vert, you want to let it run for just 30 seconds to allow all the juice to come out, to let it do its job. Now, before I get to do the taste test, I do want to tell you the Yacon is actually very high in amino acids. It actually contains about 20 amino acids, which is really cool. The main mineral that it is known for is potassium. It has a lot of potassium. And the other thing I like about the Yacon, it allows me to get more different polyphenols into me. Polyphenols are different nutrients that basically are really good for us because they can be things like anti-aging, anti-cancer, and all this kind of stuff. So definitely the polyphenols is one of the reasons why I'm juicing the Yacon today, to get different nutrients in me, because if you only drink carrot juice, you're only going to get the nutrients in carrots, and you're going to miss out on nutrients in different foods such as the Yacon. Alright, so it looks like that did a really good job. I like to always tip the juicer up. Has just a little bit more juice. We're going to drip out every valuable drop of this Yacon juice. As you can see, this Yacon juice actually has a nice, a green tinge color. And it kind of reminds me of looking like the sugarcane juice, for those of you guys that had fresh sugarcane juice juiced fresh for you in front of you. And let's see here, we're going to go ahead and check out how much we got. So it looks like we have just a tad above 1.5 cups of juice for 1 pound of Yacon. So that's actually a fairly good yield. I think that's even a better yield than carrots would get. Man, I wish I could get this stuff all the time. Now the moment you guys have been waiting for, the taste test. That's a nice, refreshing beverage. It's almost tasting like a water / coconut water with a hint of sweetness. So if you've ever had the sugarcane, imagine sugarcane juice, kind of like that, nice mild flavor, but like divided by 10, like in the sweetness, because it's just faintly sweet. So yes, definitely liked the Yacon juice, and I think I'm going to also try to dehydrate some of this juice to see if I could make my own raw dehydrated Yacon syrup. So in any case, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode learning more about how to juice the Yacon root in the Omega VRT350 HD juicer. Did an amazing job, and I'm going to go ahead and juice some more Yacon today. Once again, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.